There's something deeply honest about running. It strips everything away. Distractions, ego, noise. And what you're left with is the truth. Your breath, your will, your thoughts. Every step essentially becomes a conversation with yourself. Who are you? Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when it hurts? When you want to quit? When it's hard? That's why I've always believed running is more than exercise. It's a litmus test. It's a mirror, a teacher. It is a metaphor for life. Because like life, every run tells a different story. Some days, they're smooth and effortless. Others, man, they feel heavy. Like the world is pressing down on your shoulders. And every terrain you cross, like a mentor, shines a spotlight on a lesson you'll eventually need to learn. So let's take a look. First, hills. Hills symbolize the challenges that shape you. When you hit a hill or an incline, everything changes. The incline burns, the pace slows, the lungs tighten. This is generally the part where your body starts negotiating. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I don't need to finish this one. But those are the moments you learn what you're made of. Hills in life are just the same. They show up as heartbreak, failure, fear, and discomfort. They ask you who you're going to be when life doesn't go your way. And every time you choose to keep climbing, you're not just getting stronger. You're expanding your capacity. You're proving that pain has purpose and that growth isn't found in the flatlands. Next is soft sand, symbolizing effort without immediate validation or reward. There's nothing quite like running through soft sand, either at the beach or down the street in the desert in Arizona. When you find a piece of land where every step sinks in, every moment feels 3 times as hard. You're working, really working, but it doesn't feel like progress. That's what makes it so frustrating. Can you really do more and get less? But that's also the point. Some seasons of life are just like that. You're doing all the right things, you're showing up, you're trying, you're pushing forward. Yet it seems like nothing's changing, like you're standing in place. But the truth is, transformation is happening beneath the surface. Those moments, they help you develop your grit, your patience, your inner strength, your ability to postpone validation, understanding that it's coming. The finish line isn't always in sight, but it is there. And when you look back, you'll realize the energy exhausted pushing through, it wasn't wasted. Next are the blind turns and the tunnels, symbolizing our ability to trust what cannot be seen. Every runner eventually encounters a tunnel of some sort. That stretch of darkness where you can't see the end, the light disappears, the temp drops. You're not sure how long it goes or what's on the other side, but you keep moving. In life, the tunnel shows up as uncertainty, as a new chapter, a leap of faith, a bridge to something better, a hard decision without a clear outcome, and it demands something powerful from you. Not necessarily certainty, but trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that movement, even in the dark, is progress. Next, we have the sun and the shade, symbolizing exposure and recovery, which is very relevant being in the Southwest, right? Some runs are ruthless. The sun beats down, there's no cover, there's no mercy. Every step drains you. That's life under pressure, right? When the weight is constant, the stakes feel high, you feel exposed, vulnerable. But these are the seasons when resilience is built. Then suddenly, you find shade, a stretch of cool, a patch of relief. And you realize something important. Recovery isn't retreat. It's part of the rhythm. That beautiful rhythm of life. You're not weak for stepping into the shade, you're wise. Because the truth is, life gives you both. It gives you the heat to test you and the shade to restore you. Both are necessary, both imperative, both make you stronger. Next, the side of the road, symbolizing comfort, control, and choosing more. There are stretches when you're running on the shoulder of a paved road. We can all imagine what that looks like. Most of us have done it. Flat, smooth, predictable. It's easier. It's easier than off-road terrain or, heavy inclines up mountains and hills. There's no resistance. Your body settles into a very manageable rhythm. And in my mind, that's what life feels like in your comfort zone. You know the steps, you're in control, and for a while that feels good, necessary even. But you stay there too long, and perhaps you stop growing at the rate you could. You stop reaching. The side of the road is safe. But the question is it where the breakthroughs happen? It's where we cruise, no doubt. But is it where we evolve? Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is step off that paved shoulder and take the path with more challenge, more adversity. Because that route just might be where the real transformation lives. Next, we have pause, regroup, walk, and then run. Symbolizing the ability to know yourself, honoring the seasons of life, micro and macro. There will be seasons of life where you can't keep up your usual pace, right? For a multitude of reasons. Injury, illness, exhaustion. We've all been there. Your legs feel heavy, breath shortens, body says, no, not today. Well, I'm going to reference one of my favorite quotes by Jim Quick. A truly revolutionary idea, in my opinion. He says, when all you can give is 40%, 40% becomes your 100%. Giving all you can give, even if it's less than you gave yesterday, is a victory. It should be celebrated. Maybe you do have to stop, or walk, or collect yourself before continuing the pursuit, right? Depending on the day's circumstances. Not every day is going to be amazing, right? But hear this, there is no weakness in that slowing down, right? There's strength in listening to what your body's telling you, in honoring the rhythm of your journey. Because as I alluded to previously, life is not meant to be a constant sprint. It can't be a constant sprint. Sometimes you have to pause and dial it back, recalibrate. Sometimes you have to collect yourself, breathe, walk, and then slowly turn that walk into a run. Taking care of yourself in the present moment with the long-term journey in mind, even if that means dial it back, is not weakness. It is strength. Next, we have the speed with which you're running, which to me symbolizes aligning your pace with purpose. Not every run can be fast, right? Yeah, if you're running a 100-meter sprint, you explode out of the gate. Everything you've got, all on the table. But if you're running 100 miles, that same approach would be disastrous. It would burn you out before you began. Different races require different strategies, and life is no different. There are periods of life where you need to move fast. You have to take the risk, jump in, right? Go all out. And then there are times where the goal is endurance. You're looking at the horizon where it's about consistency, composure, and patience. Where your pace is slower not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Your speed should match your purpose. How fast you move should reflect where you're going. Not necessarily how bad you want it or don't want it in the moment. But can you sustain that pace? Is it enabling you to pursue it effectively? Because what matters, particularly in life, is not the speed of every step. It's that you were intentional, that you made adjustments, that you were aligned as you finished. Lastly, we have you versus you, symbolizing the only race that really matters. At some point, you realize this journey isn't about the runner to your left or right. It's not about being faster than anyone. It's not about comparison. It's about you and your pace and your path and your progress. Because everyone else is running a different race. Different terrains, different starting points, different backgrounds, different destinations. And trying to copy someone else's stride will only throw you off your rhythm. You have your goal. You have your pace. And your only real competition is the version of you from yesterday. Which makes the question, can you show up today just a little better? Can you improve by 1% in focus, in effort, in discipline? That's where real greatness is born. Not in comparing yourself to the world, but in being the best for your world. In staying locked into your vision, regardless of the noise and the speed, regardless of the shadows of those around you. It's always been you versus you. And that's not only enough, it is the ticket to excellence. What all this means to me is that it's not just a run, it's who you're becoming. Running, like life, is a series of choices. Do I show up today? Do I push a little harder? Do I keep going when it hurts? Every step tells a story, and while the terrain may change, sand, pavement, hills, or shade, the question remains the same. Will you keep moving forward? Will you utilize the pieces around you in whatever the context, whatever the situation, to put one foot in front of the other? Because that's what this is all about. Not being the fastest, not always having the answers, but having the courage to run your race. To meet yourself on the road, in the dark or in the light. To keep going. Again, this is not just about running. This is about life. And you're becoming stronger with every single step.